Okay, so here we go for our factoring review. So factoring will literally never go away in your entire life. So you have to remember all of these rules when you are factoring in pre-calc or calc or whatever other math you take. So for number one, this one is just a trinomial. I know that because there are three pieces. So I'm going to look and see. Oh wait, I see the word trinomial. Trinomial. Let's see which one it is. If it says a equals 1, that just means that there's a 1 in the front right here, which there is. So right now we are looking at this, and our answer is going to be two sets of parentheses, and you need to find the numbers that are going to multiply to be 11, but add to be negative 12. Okay, so this is an x squared. You're going to split up. One of each of the parentheses is going to get an x. And then I need numbers that multiply to be 11. Well, the only things that multiply to be 11 are 11 and 1. If I need them to add to negative 12, you make them both negative. Okay, that is your final answer. It just says factor. It doesn't say solve. So you are done. Okay, that's very similar to number 4, 5, and probably more of them, but I can't see them right now. Oh, number 9. So for number 2, it does not have 3 pieces. It only has 2 pieces. So I'm going to look for something that has 2 pieces up here. Oh, if it says difference of squares, these are both perfect squares. So your answer is actually just going to be 2 sets of parentheses. If you follow the pattern right here, see how they took that a squared and split it up? Let's take the x squared and split it up. Then they took the b squared and split it up. So let's take our y squared and split it up. If we need it to multiply to be a negative y squared, one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. And that's your final answer. Okay, that would be the same process for number 8, and probably more of them, but I can't see. So for number 3, this one has 2 pieces, but this is not a square, this is a cube. So we need to look at this formula right here. Sum and difference of cubes. This is the sum of cubes. So I'm going to be looking at this formula right here. I cube root both pieces. Okay, so I also know my formula says I have a little parenthesis and a big parenthesis. So the cube root of x to the third is just x. So that's going to go first. The cube root of 27 is 3. Okay, if you look here, this has a plus in the middle, so I'm going to put plus. Then my other signs are minus and plus, so I'm going to copy those into the big parenthesis. Now, I know how to get these numbers that go here. I'm going to take the numbers from my first parenthesis. I'm going to square the first one. So x squared is going to go here. Then I'm going to multiply these 2 numbers together. 3 times x is 3x, that goes right there. And then I'm going to square the last number. 3 squared gives me 9, and that's your final answer. So after you cube root both of your pieces for the little parenthesis, you always square, multiply, square to get the second larger parenthesis. I'll let you guys do 4 and 5 on your own. Number 6 has 4 pieces, so you would go right here to number 3 where it says if a 4-term polynomial, look for factor by grouping. Factor by grouping, I know you love it, is where you just split the middle and you figure out what you can divide by. So I can divide by a here, and I would have c plus d left over. I can divide by b here, and I'd have c plus d left over. My final answer would be c plus d times a plus b. You take these guys and you put them in the second parenthesis right there. Number 7 is 2 terms, but it doesn't have squares or cubes or anything else. There's no other information at the top that talks to me about things that have 2 pieces, which are called binomials. I see nothing about a binomial. So I look at hint number 1. Look for a greatest common factor. what can you divide both of these by? Oh, 3. So 3 would go out front, and you would have x minus y left. And that's all you have to do. So number 8, 9, you can do on your own. Number 10, this is where we start going back to that guess and check stuff that you guys hate. So I want 2 sets of parentheses. I need to think of numbers that multiply to be 6 for the first part here. So I know 2 and 3 multiplies to be 6. Okay, then I need to think of numbers that multiply to be -3. So I'm going to put, actually I'm going to go ahead and put an x in the front of these two. And I'm going to think of numbers that multiply to be -3. So I'm going to do -3 here and +1 here. So what is 2 times -3? That's -6. 1 times 3 is 3. -6 plus 3 is not 7. So I know that did not work. So I'm going to go ahead and instead of doing the 3 at the back and the 1 in the front, I'm going to change them. So I'm going to change this to be a 3 and this to be a 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is not 7, but I could do 9 minus 2 to get 7, right? So that means this 1 would have to be negative, and this 3 would have to be positive. And now you should always double check your signs. So make sure that when you multiply these red numbers right here, they actually equal -3. Yeah, they do. So that would be your final answer, 2x plus 3 times 3x minus 1. Same process for number 11. I want you to figure out 12, 13, 14, and 15 on your own. And now let's go to the back. All of the ones at the top say solve by factoring or square root method. When you only have one x, you want to use the square root method. So you actually want to just add the 8 to both sides. You get 2x squared equals 32. Divide by 2. X squared equals 16. You square root both sides, and you should automatically know you get plus or minus 4. Okay, the only one you can't do that for in this section is number 18, you have to factor. Number 21, you have to factor. And number 20, you have to factor. I want you to try those on your own. And then ask me questions in class if you need to on Wednesday. Okay, so now, fractions, because we all hate them. Number 1, you have to find a common denominator. Okay, I know you were taught a different way to find common denominators in the past, but this is how I do it. Okay, so you can multiply these two together. 2 times 6 is 12. Then you can multiply these two together. 3 times 5 is 15. That's all over. Multiply these two together. 18. You do have to simplify, and this unit is non-calculator. So 12 plus 15 is 27 over 18. I can divide both of those by 9, and that would be 3 over 2 by 9. Number 2, just remember you have to put a little 1 on the bottom. For number 3, oh no, there are letters we can do. So let's do 2 times 2x, that's 4x. Then we do 5 times x, you put the plus in the center, and then you multiply the bottom 2 together. Okay, x times 2x is 2x squared. Then you need to simplify all of that. So this is equal to 9x over 2x squared, and then you can simplify that even further. Okay, so this x will cancel, and this squared will no longer be a squared, it will only be x. So you have 9 over 2x. That's your final answer. Okay, it works as well for things like 5, 6, and 7. Okay, I'm going to show you number 7. So you're going to cross multiply this way. 1 times x minus 1, guys, 1 times anything is just itself. So it's just x minus 1. Don't forget your plus sign. And then do 1 times x plus 1. That's exactly the same. All of that's going to be over those two multiplied together. Okay, I'm just going going to write them in parentheses for now, like this. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to write my parentheses, and then I'm going to simplify the top. So those are going to cancel. X plus x is 2x all over x plus 1 times x minus 1. You can stop there because we can factor the bottom out and get a fancier answer, but it doesn't matter. This is perfectly acceptable. Actually, it's going to be the same process for number 8, even though there's a weird trig word. So this is kind of what our next unit's going to look like. So let's put this cosine over 1 and let's cross. So 1 times 1 is 1. Cosine, oh, bring your minus down, don't forget. Cosine times cosine is cosine squared x. All of that is going to be over, multiply those two together, cosine x. You cannot cancel anything there. Anytime there is a plus or a minus in the center of your problem, you cannot cancel without factoring. Okay, I'm not going to factor this because I already know nothing is going to cancel. So this is my final answer. If you try to cross out one of these cosines with this cosine, you've got the problem so wrong, you go back to algebra 1. Okay, so you can try number 9. Number 10, guys, this is a fraction within a fraction. Nobody likes this. Let's rewrite that. Okay, so let's move that 1/2 up here. And let's rewrite it as 1/2 plus 1. Just write a divide sign. Divided by all of this, 1/2. Okay, I'm going to put this in parentheses just so I remember that that all was grouped together. Now, I'm going to bring that down, 1/2 plus 1. I can change this to multiply and flip the second fraction there. Okay, that is going to make my life so much easier. Now, this is just 2 times the whole parenthesis. So I'm going to distribute it through. Okay, 2 times 1/2 is just 1. 2 times 1 is 2. That's 1 plus 2 gives you 3. That's your final answer. Same process for 11 and 12 as well. Okay, for number 11, I'm going to move this up here. So I'm going to write 1 over x plus 1. And then I'm going to do divided by 1 over x. I'm going to keep all of this the same. Change to multiply, change to x over 1, which is really just x. I'm going to distribute. These are going to cancel for the first one. So I'm just going to have 1 plus x times 1, guys, is just x. Why don't you go ahead and try number 12 by yourself and finish the rest of the worksheet on your own. See you guys on Wednesday.